Hey, just some quick Bible study tips for you, especially if you're new to the Bible. The Bible is divided into two gigantic sections called the Old Testament and the New Testament, which we have here. Now, right now at the present time, we're in the New Testament. That's the era, if you will, that we are in. That's why I tell a lot of people that are new, especially, get yourself, if nothing else, one of these cheap like New Testaments. Get very familiar with that first, okay? If you're going to be doing Bible study you never have before, please get into the New Testament first. Study that first. It's kind of like these are the answers to the problems. The answers are in the back of the book. Remember that? These are the answers to the problem. Get familiar with the answers before you look back at some of the problems. Now, within the New Testament, you got what's called the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Okay, these are telling the story of when Jesus was walking the earth. It tells the story, kind of like a history of his death, burial, and resurrection. Okay, except for the very ends of these four Gospels, what's called the Gospels, Jesus was speaking to people that were still under the law of the Old Testament. So that's very helpful a lot of times to understand that when he's speaking some of these things, he's talking to people that are still under that Jewish law of the Old Testament. He does talk about, the New Testament, the New Covenant, the things that are to come. But there's a lot of confusion that happens in these Gospels a lot of times when people try to apply some of the things that Jesus directly said about the Old Covenant to the New. So the Old Covenant is sort of like how man related to God, okay, in a different time. In the New Covenant, we're in the family of God. Think about it sort of like this. If I'm giving you instructions about how to operate an old school rotary phone, nobody really needs that anymore. There are some things you could learn if you didn't know anything about phones by me talking about the old school rotary phone. Oh, people can talk, and hear each other over distances and things like that. And you still had to remember numbers and things like that back in the day. You used numbers to connect with people. Okay, some of that still sort of applies today, but we're in a whole different era, right? If you try to apply a lot of that old technology teachings to new technology, it's going to be a mess, right? You're going to be looking, where's the dial at on the new smartphone, right? So think of it that way. The Old Testament, we're talking about telegraphs, carrier pigeons, at best old school rotary phones, versus the New Testament, now smartphones, talking to each other by hologram or something, whatever. We're talking futuristic stuff here. Now, remember that, and again, that the Gospels, Jesus is speaking to people, even though Jesus knows the smartphone is coming, right? Jesus is speaking to people that are still using carrier pigeons, telegraphs, and rotary phones. So you have to know that and understand that context of when he's speaking about things to people. Anyway, hope that helps. Hope that keeps you out of a lot of confusion. If you have questions about that, if that wasn't clear as mud, please drop a comment.